Hello, girls. It is almost time for summer, and I want to talk about how to get your spark back for summer. And I have had these terrible periods of winter where I just felt the winter uglies, where I felt like I wasn't going to have a good summer because I just didn't feel like myself. And I think it is important to talk about this because I want the girls to have great summers. I want you to have fun. I want you to have the best time, especially when I think about how I sometimes wasted summers because I was just waiting for other people while I could just take matters into my own hands and have the best summer anyway, because I feel like we shouldn't be waiting on things. It is just a waste because people wait for the weekends, people wait for summer vacation, they wait for things to actually start living their lives. Well, I think we can start now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get your spark back. So there can be so many different reasons why you have lost your spark, and sometimes it happens along the way. We don't even know where we lost it, but we're just looking at older pictures, maybe from vacation or like a really happy period in your life. You're like, gosh, I don't know what happened. And maybe you felt, down, maybe something happened in your life and you're ready to pick yourself up. So if you feel like you want to have the best summer, to feel your best self, to feel glowy and happy and sensual and connected, then please keep listening. So I'm just going to share 5 things with the things that I would do. And the first thing is pause. Don't put pressure on yourself, because when we want our sparks back, what can happen is that we start to compare our lives to others. Maybe you're already comparing your old life to your current life, and that is not really fair. And especially if you're comparing your life to people on Instagram, to people on social media, then please stop doing that, because you don't know what's going on in people's lives. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what someone is going through. Maybe they're showing you the best pictures. Maybe they are going on beautiful vacations. Maybe they are wearing beautiful clothes, but it doesn't mean that they are happy, like genuinely happy. And when we're talking about getting our spark back, we're not talking about the glittery, we're not talking about the fake happiness, because everybody can pretend, and we're not doing this. We want our cup filled. So the first thing that I would do is pause, take a break. Like, what is it really that I want? Is it that I want to show others that I'm having a good time, or do I genuinely want to take better care of myself? Because those two are different things. And when you are really talking about taking good care of yourself to get that spark back, you have to pause, because this is not a quick fix. This is not something that happens overnight. Because like you lost your spark a while back, like somewhere along the way, you're not going to immediately, find your spark, have it back. You want your spark to be sustainable. So don't expect miracles. Just pause, write down, like, what does my spark feel like? What does my spark look like? And what can I do now to walk towards that spark? So for me, when I feel like I'm a little bit in a slump, I start to move my body. And I know it sounds cliche, but it really works. And with moving my body, I'm not saying that I am forcing myself to go to a gym, because first of all, I do not like the gym. I've tried it, I don't like it, so I'm not forcing myself. But what I do like, and especially moving into summer, I really like going on long walks Whenever the weather is pretty, whenever the sky is blue, I'm outside walking. And I really enjoy it. I really also like to drive somewhere and like walk somewhere that is unfamiliar for me. I like to go on walks with friends. I've been loving going on my hot girl walks. Can we bring back the hot girl walks? Because it is so convenient. You don't need a Pilates reformer to move. Like, we can just go outside and walk. And it's really funny because I'm actually recording this in my car, and in front of me is somebody skating. And I'm like, oh, that is also such a fun activity to do during the spring and the summer. So make movement fun and don't force yourself. Don't focus on results. Because in the beginning, I was like, oh, I want to walk 10K steps every day. But once it becomes something that you have to do, it takes out the fun. So I want to ask you, think of like your most fun way to actually start moving your body more consistently. So movement is a really big one. Then the second one is food, actually diet. So when I don't feel good about myself, when I don't feel good about life, I can really see that with how I am feeding myself, because the first thing that I usually stop focusing on is nourishment. When I take really good care of myself, I really like to cook. I like to take my time with my meals, and I treat my body like a temple. So maybe this is also something for you to start focusing on. I know that if you're not into cooking, it can be really hard to focus on this, but once you kind of start to understand how cooking works, because I feel like cooking is more of a feeling thing, you kind of have to have a feel for it, where baking is really more precision, like being precise. So I would say start having fun with cooking, find meals that you really like, start to make new dishes for summer. I've been really loving a salad that I made, so I just want to share a quick recipe with you guys because you might enjoy it as well. So I take lima beans, they're white beans, and they taste really good. They're very buttery. And then I also add baby cucumbers. I don't know if they're called baby cucumbers, but they're like the smaller cucumbers, which I usually find more tasty and crunchy. Then I add dill. So yeah, I put this all in a bowl. So I put the small cucumber slices in a bowl with dill, with the white beans, and then I add some vegan feta, but you can use your normal feta. Then I add lemon juice, salt and pepper, olive oil, and I think that's it, but that is really good and a lot of protein and fiber. You can also add sliced carrots or onions. Yeah, but that's really good. So I've been really loving to make new kind of things and try new things and yeah, find new recipes. And I also love to find my recipes on TikTok or Pinterest. So another thing to find your spark back is just to find new hobbies. And especially hobbies or things that you can do outside. This I also pair with really taking a break. I think this was the next point that I want to talk about, but yeah, we can put 3 and 4 together, because once you find hobbies that really calm down your nervous system, it is just the best thing, because that means that you are allowing to actually get your spark back. I personally love to draw. I like to paint. I like to write. And especially if I can do it outside in nature. You know, you can go on little picnics by yourself or with a friend. I've also seen people do these coloring books, and at first I was like, that is a little childish, because I love to draw, I like to paint, and I'm like, why would I like color in a color book? But it actually looks really relaxing, and I might try it this summer. I don't know. Like, it is something to get out of your head, especially when you're overthinking and trying to take control over things and like forcing things. It is really good to find hobbies that relax you. But there's also a few other, girly things this summer. I don't know if they're girly, but I just, yeah, I just feel like it's beautiful feminine energy. But picking flowers, there's also probably somewhere around you, there's like these little farms where you can pick flowers. You pay for like, I don't know, maybe you pay like 10 euros, and then you can pick any flower you want and you can make your own bouquets. Um, so that is really fun. Or like take a pottery class. There's so many beautiful things that you can do, and they will definitely help you to bring your spark back. So the last thing is connect to nature, and I don't think this is talked about enough, but every time when I connect with nature, I just feel so much better, and it is easier to connect with nature during the spring and summer. So I just wanted to include it, because I think whenever I go on a walk in a forest, or whenever I visit the beach, or even like swim in the sea, I feel like the main character. Especially when I swim in the sea, and the sea is really wild, the waves. I just feel like the main character. I feel so good. I feel like something is healed within me. And sometimes also when I just go to the beach to lay in the sun for a whole day, it's the best feeling. And sometimes I think we lose our sense of, or we lose our spark, because we're just not touching grass enough. And that is why I really want to move to a warm country, because I am not made for cold, windy, wet weather. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. So if you are living somewhere sunny, I'm very jealous of you, but one day that will be me. So yeah, good for you if you enjoy it as much as I do. So yeah, going into the sun, going into nature, and I think we sometimes overcomplicate things. Like, you know, when you're just going outside and you're just like, "Oh, I really needed that walk. I really needed that fresh air." Or sometimes even when we're hungry, all we need sometimes is just to eat an apple. Like, we overcomplicate things so much in our head, in our minds, because we get distracted with social media and how things are supposed to look or feel. Everybody showing their beautiful routines. And I honestly, I love it because it gives me a lot of inspiration. But sometimes I'm like, I don't need all that I don't need all that stuff. Sometimes the most simple thing is what I actually need and makes me feel genuinely happy and a lot better. So yeah, sometimes all you need is a good cry. Sometimes all you need is a good journal session. Or sometimes all you need is a long walk with your best friend and just laughing until your stomach hurts. So, getting your spark back shouldn't be like a 90-day program. It doesn't need to be super complicated unless you're dealing with depression, of course. Then I am not talking to you. But if you just want that fun spark back where you feel like, yes, I'm on top of the world, I hope these things will really help. And I really enjoyed talking about it. If you like this video, please put a thumbs up. If you're listening on YouTube, of course, if you're on Spotify, please DM me, share this episode, because maybe it will help someone who is feeling not so secure with themselves. And yeah, hope you follow along, and I will talk to you in the next episode.